Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Game God Fluent, bringing you episode 87 of Let's Play Queen's Wish, The Conqueror. Before we start, I wanted to show you something. It's an achievement. Only 2.8% of players have this, and it's Big Game Hunter. Get 3 trophies on Veteran difficulty or higher. So remember, if you've been watching the LP, we also have the Strange Folk. Enter all 3 refuges. 19.2, but only 2.8% of players have that. But if you've been watching the LP, excuse me, then you know we fought 3 optional super boss type creatures throughout the game, and those are the creatures that we took a piece of their body from. I don't remember exactly what they were, but yeah, 3 trophies. I thought that was pretty cool. Surprised only 2.8% of players have that. So anyway, in today's episode, let's see, Elhovo down here, Palace of Atonement. We do have a reason to go to the Palace of Atonement. Let's go see if we can talk to the AHRIEL first. This should be... what? 1 snake. What in the world? How did this happen? Go through this way. Down. And let's get into Elhovo. High Elhovo. Alright. So this is like the capital city of the AHRIEL Woods. Let's head in. You enter High Elhovo, the core of the AHRIEL Woods. They have spent centuries weaving the trees and vines here into an enormous, stunningly beautiful tower. It is an indoor forest, and the plants have been worked into living walls, partitioning the indoors into shops, barracks, and everything you would expect of a proper city. This is no trench town, though. The guards are regular AHRIEL, but everyone else you see is blessed. As you enter High Elhovo, you note 2 things. First, the guards are doing their best to pretend you aren't there. They are always looking anywhere but where you are. There are enormous guard wolves, on the other hand, stare and snarl. The second thing is the tower. It is an enormous wooden structure on the water to the south, looming over everything else in High Elhovo. That must be where the Watchers rule from. Okay. Blessed Dorian. Come look. This is an unusual shop. All the goods are in the fresh air, protected only by a thick woven canopy of vines and trees. Holes allow enough sunlight to pierce through to show off the exquisite, luxurious AHRIEL craftsmanship. A blessed woman approaches with exactly the right balance of pride and deference. Welcome to High Elhovo's trade post, Havenite. I am Blessed Dorian. How can I help you? This is a nice shop. Thank you. I spend so much time here that it is easy to forget how beautiful it is. I love the fresh air and smell of moss. It really sets off well with the elegant lethality of our spears. Do you ever get rained on? No, the vines are woven in such a way as to sluice all unwanted precipitation away. We of High Elhovo have had many centuries to get it right. Tell me about your wares. The purpose of this shop is to show off the finest of the finest AHRIEL goods. Our potions, our magic, our weapons, our enchanted garb. All visitors can come here to see the best in the known world. It is part of our duty. What is your duty? The AHRIEL have the finest culture and crafts. Our duty is to show what we have accomplished so that we can be a good example to all the worthy peoples of the world. I have another question. Blessed Dorian stands just off to the side and behind you, ready to answer any questions. I'd like to trade with you. I will trade with you as much as I can. I am always willing to buy goods from other lands. There is always much we can learn. Can you craft anything for me? Oh, we don't craft in High Elhovo for a lot of good reasons. Too noisy, too smelly, fear of fire. I think the closest master crafter is in Mesidi. Like to buy something? Ah, well, you can look. However, until you have dealt with the watchers above to their satisfaction, I am not allowed to sell to you. That's all I need. I am flattered that you found time to visit us, Prince. Thank you. Another one of those that we can't trade with. Watchers are in the tower. You may explore. Haven should help us. You are safe here. Yeah, let's come across here. There's a magic circle in the middle of High Elhovo. You can sense power coming from the stones and the trees. Nobody is here right now. If a powerful spell is to be worked, this is where they will do it. AHRIEL, bless. Why are you here? I'm wondering that as well. I am blessed. I don't see someone there to talk to in that place up there. You walk around the tower in the middle of High Elhovo. The entrance must be to the south. The guards still ignore you as you pass, but blessed watch you from windows above. So far, the AHRIEL haven't been hostile. You will have to be careful, though. Once you enter their tower, if they decide to murder you, you won't be able to stop them. Blessed Paigi. You are surprised to find in this quiet corner of High Elhovo an artist's studio. A young, highly intense woman is painting a picture of 2 bowls of food on a table. She covers the canvas when she sees you. Ah, from Haven. Come in, come in. I am the elevated artist of High Elhovo, Blessed Paigi. I paint. The sculptors are not here. Too noisy. I can be here. You have been elevated? I was chosen by the Watchers. They think I can make the best new forms of art, and that I can best show the world the superiority of the AHRIEL. It is a responsibility to destroy the old styles. I must bear it. Is there a lot of competition to be elevated? Yes, of course. Murders have happened. I am safe, though. None can yet replace me. All know it. What are the old styles? Mere representation. You see a thing and you make a painting that looks like it. So, all the paintings your mother and Delia buy. Noted. That has value, but others already do it. To be elevated is to always look for the new. What are you looking for? New paintings, new ways of seeing, unlike any ever done. Someone must always be looking for the new, yes? What if someone prefers the old styles? They can look at that. I'm not an art guard. I will put nobody in painting jail. All can make and look at whatever they want. They must only face the risk of being left behind. I have another question. Blessed Paigi is quiet and distracted. You have to carry the conversation. She is constantly nervously picking bits of paint off her hands and forearms with her fingernails. Can I see your work? She thinks about this. This is my decision to make. I decide yes. She pulls aside the cover of her most recent work. She is painting 2 bowls of food. The painting looks like a red and yellow circle on a white background. Would you see another? Alright. She shows you a blank canvas. When she notes your confusion, she points to the lower corner. You see a small slash of gray paint. She sniffs. Would you see yet another? Sure. It is a huge painting of a skull, bone white on black background. When you look closer, though, you realize the skull is surrounded by many tiny figures. Flowers, dancers, eyes, all painted in very dark gray paint on black, so that they are barely visible. These are 3 works I think have promise. What do you think, Prince of a Foreign Land? I think your artistic exploration is very exciting. She nods. We are so excited by the return of Haven. There is so much promise for us. The small folk have their worries, but the blessed know that we have so much to gain. Now, please excuse me. Inspiration strikes. She turns back to her work, ignoring you. Wait, I'd like to buy a painting. No, not yet. We will decide how best to show the world the work of the AHRIEL. Once the correct pieces are selected, they may travel to our diplomats to the world. To be our diplomats to the world. Alright, let's press F3 and head on in and see what happens. Blessed Pedar. The garden is tended by one old plant worker. While everyone else in High Elhovo has been cordial or just ignored you, this man regards you with instant contempt. I am Blessed Pedar, elevated plant worker of High Elhovo. You are an invader of lesser perception. What do you want? What is a plant worker? We are the ones who listen to the trees and talk to them in return. We marshal them to feed us and protect our lands from barbarian invaders. The like you goes unsaid. What do the trees tell you? They tell us where there is corruption, where the invaders are, where their peace is broken by those who would destroy the AHRIEL. What do you tell the trees? We tell them where to walk, how to move, who to trap, where to move, what to consume. We discipline them when they misbehave, and we guide them into an impenetrable defense. How do they misbehave? Trees are slow, but they are willful. Magic is fast and full of chaos. Together, we sometimes have troubles in our woods, monsters and such. When this happens, we blessed solve the problem. We do this in our own time and the right way, not fast and crude like the common folk demand. Your defenses are impenetrable? Yes. The only reason Haven soldiers have ever set foot into our lands is because we allow it. We are led by greed and weakness. Who will stand up and save the AHRIEL? He turns and walks away. You have to follow. I have another question. Blessed Pedar walks quickly around the garden, pruning shrubs and picking weeds. You struggle to keep up with him. You said that I am lesser. I say you have lesser perception. It is true. So you have purer perception. I drink the elixir. All the blessed do. This lets us see the world as it is and gives us glimpses of the other layers of existence, above and below us. We see in a purer way, so we have purer opinions. And your opinion is? The Watchers are lost in greed and confusion. They are letting an invader in. We are lucky enough to be rid of you once. Now we are eager to swallow the rot. Who will act? And how would you act exactly? You will see, invader. Not all blessed have vacant minds. Some of us only wait for a moment to act. He turns and walks away, slipping between two vines. Vines slide forward and block the path behind him. The first floor of the tower is a garden showing off the floral variety of the AHRIEL woods. You even see some of the thorny thicket plants in the corner. Several plant workers tend to the garden. One imperious old man directs them. He is not hesitant about shouting at them if they make even the slightest mistake. We are learning. Prune. Prune. Let's go to the basement. Beatrice. You are surprised to find a sage hiding down here. She is old, tired, and oddly not blessed. When you approach, she sighs. Heard you like to poke around, Havenite. I am Beatrice. Say what you want and go away. Why are you hiding down here? It is the only place I can get silence. The blessed are always bothering me. Questions, requests, wanting genealogical research, or other such madness. It's peaceful down here. What are you studying? I study the history of the AHRIEL, how we came to be this way, how we might change. I would like to learn more. It is the business of the AHRIEL, not you. Haven will end up choosing for us if I let you. We will decide who we truly are. Please leave me. I'm sure you have some wood. I wish I could take that. Well, no, actually, well, yeah, we do need wood. Locked? No, open. Ooh. Quicksilver. Iron bar. Alright. Alright, up we go. This floor of the tower is a glorious feasting hall. The AHRIEL are already good at food. Here they prepare some of the most delicious exotic meals in the known world. Food that would draw raves even in your palace back home. Frang wants it done. Frang wants it done. I should not speak. Watch your fry seal. No. Ah, I got an F4. I didn't catch his opening remarks. Sorry about that. Let's go downstairs real quick. I'll press F3 after it this time. Classic Jeff Vogel inventory sound. A lot of these sounds are classics. Okay. Come try this, Chef Frang. When the people of High Elhovo get hungry, they come here. One frenetically busy chef makes meals for them, assisted by a team of helpers and apprentices. Yet although he has a dozen dishes on the fire, he makes time to speak with you. The Prince of Haven, I am honored. I am Chef Frang, elevated by the Watchers of High Elhovo and bearer of the duty. Hungry? What are you making? So many dishes on the fire right now. Some traditional, some new classic recipes, some experiments, all part of the duty of the AHRIEL. I am quite good, I admit. That is why I was elevated. You are elevated. Sometimes the Watchers of High Elhovo pick one who best fulfills the duty of the AHRIEL. We are brought here to perform our craft and advance it. Remaining the best in the world takes a lot of work. You have a lot of assistance. Of course, I must simultaneously advance the art and feed the city. Plus, I must teach the young. All parts must work together to practice and continue the work. Where do you get your ingredients? Most of the nearby farms of the AHRIEL woods. Our raw nature and magic produce a variety of fresh, delicious products, living and dead. With Haven's help, I will soon trade for other unique ingredients from the far lands of the known world. I have another question. Chef Frang runs his kitchen, testing dishes and calmly instructing his cooks. Yet he always finds time to answer one of your questions or offer you a taste of something odd. You mentioned the duty of the AHRIEL. The AHRIEL are the peak of human culture. We are not selfish, though. We want others to live as well as us. Thus, we show them what is possible and we help them improve. Within reason, of course. You think everyone can eat as well as you? Of course not. Few, if any, can match the food of the AHRIEL. So what is the goal? I think everyone can eat better with some attention and more art. All should strive for this. It is a beautiful dream. Yes, it is a dream until the AHRIEL can send envoys all over the world to inspire other lands to improve. Haven can make this possible. Until then, I will cook. I would like something. Of course, you can try one of my new dishes, or you can sample our fine ales and wines. Something to eat. You are brought a plate, a very unusual dish, unlike anything you ever saw in Haven. It is a salad of leaves and twigs. The twigs are actually edible, and they have a crunch to them. They are quite bitter. You leave fed, but weirdly unsatisfied. It is completely unlike the food of Haven, even the fancy stuff. Something to drink? You are given a metal cup of thick, syrupy wine, flavored with an herb you can't recognize. It is weird, not entirely pleasant, and makes you woozy. I am content. I am so pleased. Be sure to return the moment you feel hungry. I know that I will have another experiment for you. Oh wait, does he... You are brought a plate, a very unusual dish, unlike anything you ever saw in Haven. It is a thick beef soup. There is some sort of organ meat in it. It has powerful iron flavor. Mother doesn't like organ meat. You leave fed, but weirdly unsatisfied. It is a flan of egg, bacon essence, maple syrup, and salmon egg. There's a thick beef soup. Plate of thin strips of raw meat with a tangy sauce. Frang explains that they are from the most tender parts of the face of the dire wolf. You are given a mug of thick, dark ale. It is delicious and makes your head spin. Oh, dang, we've got weakness. Heck of weakness. Frang, what's it done? More wine, more food. There's an old blessed sitting at this long table, surrounded by luxurious dishes and goblets of fine wine. He is systematically moving from left to right, demolishing each plate of food, only for it to be immediately replaced by servants. He waves for you to join him. Come, Havenites, sit. Rest from the road. I am AHRIEL of the Bren, watcher of the AHRIEL, and mite of High Elhovo. I'm taking a break. You are a watcher. I am very powerful. Can't you tell? He grabs the roast leg of a wild peacock and starts gnawing on it. How did you become a watcher? I've been blessed for 80 years. Drank the elixir, had the dreams. Yet I still have a bit of sense. That is why they picked me. Doesn't take up too much of my time. What is your duty as a watcher? Sometimes I leave my farms and workshops and come here. The army and common folk come to us with their problems. We help them if we think we need to, and if we have the focus for it. They are all upstairs now. Your being here has them all very excited. Why aren't you with the other watchers now? He shrugs. Your being here is very important. It will shift the future of the AHRIEL people. Why would I want to be involved in that, especially when they're all distracted, so I get my first pick of the good meals? A servant refills 3 of his goblets. I have another question. Watcher AHRIEL of the Bren sits and eats and drinks and eats and drinks. His capacity is remarkable. He's one of the few people in High Elhovo who really seems to be enjoying himself. How is the food? Fantastic. You can't have any of mine. I'm going to eat it. Go talk to the chef. He'll get you fed. All part of our duty, after all. Who are the Bren? My family. We own a big swath of good, fertile land west of here, and we claim great prestige. I help run the family business. They chose me to spend time here so I can get us all the advantages I can, which is a lot. We are happy that Haven is back, so you can imagine. You claim great prestige. We are so wealthy that all of my family, even distant relatives, even the smallest child, gets their share of elixir. Why, I have a second cousin by marriage who gets a small portion of elixir every month. How much more prestige can there be? What is your family business? A bit of farming, livestock. We don't mine quicksilver ourselves, of course. Dirty business. But we own a major share in 3 mines and a refinery. You are happy that Haven is back? You bring order. You keep the roads safe. Someone has to. We certainly won't. That's why the Watchers allow you here. Even when distracted by the other levels, we know that you have value. Sometimes we can even buy the help of Havenite mercenaries. Very useful for certain sorts of business. Looking for any help from Haven now? In fact, I am. Part of the reason I'm down here. Wanted to talk to you privately. I've heard that, for royalty, you can be quite the adventurer. Depends on the adventure. Well, I have a good one. The Bren clan has rivals. We've had disputes over a few swaths of land going back centuries. One of our rivals, Conqueror by name, spilled blood over it. For this, he went to the Palace of Atonement. I don't want him to ever leave, and will pay for the help. What is this Palace of Atonement? It is our place of exile northeast of here. Criminals go there to pay penance. Then, sometimes, they leave. You will be able to walk into there no problem. They let everyone in. What do I do with this Conqueror? He grins and you see a mad glint in his eye. Yes, this is an elixir drinker for sure. Stab him! Burn him! Make him die! Why do you want this done? He spilled the blood of our family. We AHRIEL are civilized, but we don't tolerate nonsense. He has to pay, and I want it to happen where we can find him. How do I leave this prison when my work is done? Just walk out. He doesn't elaborate. It can't be that simple, can it? New quest, AHRIEL Assassin. Okay. I don't know about that, but we may do it. F3. Okay, we go further up. One sec, guys. And back. Okay. At last you reach the Hall of the Watchers. It is beautiful, of course. You can take that for granted in the lands of the AHRIEL. There are patches of trees, bright light comes in through the windows, butterflies flap everywhere. The hall is beautiful, and the Watchers are odd. Green, confused, waxy skin, the baffled look that comes from years of elixir drinking. Only one of them, an ancient woman in the center of the head table, seems to realize that you are here. Speak to Aibeline. Aibeline leads for now. Layers have different wisdom. We will deal with this haven. At first, you think the woman in the middle of the head table might be a waxwork. Decades or centuries of elixir have made her eyes glassy and her skin have a strange glassy sheen. Then she leans forward and moves her face into what she remembers a smile to feel like. I am Watcher Aibeline. I am twice blessed. First as blessed, next as a speaker. For High Elhovo, for the AHRIEL. I am Prince Matthew of Haven. She nods slowly. It is noted. It will be written. You will now... She is interrupted by a similarly ancient, baffled watcher who shouts, a loud voice carries through the trees. All of the watchers immediately break out in a loud argument. What is going on? Nobody is listening. Some of the watchers are arguing. Others get up to look out the window. One appears to be chasing a butterfly. None of them are paying attention. Huh. Watcher Aibeline tries to deal with you, but she is constantly distracted by the other watchers. They make objections, unexpected noises. They ask questions about unrelated matters, some of which make no sense. The watchers are still lost in chaos. Wait patiently. The watchers keep arguing, wandering around, and quietly communing with the wildlife or napping. They change roles frequently. Sometimes one nods off, and another jumps up with plenty to say. You wait. The chaos continues. Excuse me. Watcher Aibeline's head snaps around to you. You can't read her expression. It conveys a feeling that makes sense only to her. She slaps the table with her hand. The watchers grow silent and shuffle back to their seats. So, Prince, you have come. How was your journey? Your people have repeatedly attempted to murder me. Watcher Aibeline turns and glares at the rest of the watchers. Then she lets out a long, loud, continuous shriek. The watchers look down at the floor, abashed. She looks back at you. Sorry, this will be dealt with. A long pause. Then she speaks very slowly. She knows that this is important and doesn't want any missteps. Why are you here? I have been to the, I've come to speak with you. No, I don't want, no, that's a bad answer. We have the quest, right? Alright, we already have that. Okay. Yeah, I should say I've been to the trench towns. F3. Okay. I have been to the trench towns. The watchers look at each other, not sure where this is leading. A few immediately lose interest and wander off. Aibeline says, I suppose it was inevitable. Still, I am sorry. Sorry? They and AHRIEL are AHRIEL and therefore part of our great story and superior culture. Yet they are the least part of us, better than the regular peasant, but dirty and coarse. I have a message from them. You carry a message from trench folk to us, the watchers of High Elhovo? Really? I don't understand. Why would you do that? You are a Prince of Haven, so I suppose we must listen. Don't say we talk to a star. The trench towns feel you neglect them. Watcher Eibleen truly doesn't know how to respond to this. Before she can open her mouth, a watcher by a window breaks into laughter. Others join him. Then Eibleen herself starts to snicker, then chuckle, then laugh. You wait, but their episode of hilarity continues for some time. When you think they're about to run out of breath, they just laugh more. Eventually, he wanders off. Looks like Astara has her answer. Watcher Eibleen tries to deal with you, but she's constantly distracted by the other watchers. They make objections, unexpected noises. They ask questions about unrelated matters. I've come to speak with you. You have come far, across an ocean. You have been in danger. The watcher next to her starts to hum. She slaps him. He shuts up. You come to High Elhovo. Why? What do you want? The AHRIEL, I have been sent by Queen Sharon of Haven. I have met her when she came before. She was young then, I was old. She is steely. She sent you. We want to know your purpose. You have not said your purpose. The AHRIEL have a treaty with Haven. You are our vassals. You left. We were vassals. Then you left and you took your things with you. I do not see us as a vassal. Not at this moment anyway. That is reasonable. Never mind. Watcher Eibleen seems confused. She starts to respond, but another watcher shouts, "Ha! It ends!" They erupt into a furious argument, which continues for quite a while before petering out. Okay, I could say they would become our vassal again, but I really have no desire to speak with her. Because we're going to work with Astara. Alright, let's try... Oh, I F3'd. Dang, I didn't save before dealing with Astara stuff. Coming through. Dang, I really made no progress here. Wait, F4. Let me try telling her she'll become our vassal again. Watcher Eibleen nods. The words are out. They are said. So many foolish arguments are settled now. The watchers nod. We have clarity, and clarity helps us. Now we can tell you more about us, help you understand. Then we can negotiate and deal with unfinished matters. Want to know more about the watchers. All regions of our wood have watchers, the longest drinkers of elixir, the wisest, the most attuned to the many layers. When an event happens, all watchers who can come here to decide, to see envoys like you. We rule the AHRIEL woods and we have responsibilities. Tell me about elixir. Quicksilver solution charged with wisdom. It brings us long life and health and wisdom and helps us to talk to the many layers of reality, higher and lower. I want some elixir. Several watchers let out a long hiss. She says, no, sometimes you outsiders sneak our elixir away, but we will never give it freely. The wisdom of the elixir is what elevates us and helps us with our responsibilities. What are your responsibilities? We have so many. We must watch all the layers of existence above and below us. We must speak to our woods and keep our people nourished and safe. We must remember all the old history. It is so much. Yet the regular folk complain. They moan that we don't do enough for them. They don't see how much we have to do, how we bend under the strain. You don't seem to do much to rule your land. This drives the Watchers into an instant fury. They all erupt at once, shouting, "Ungrateful! Nobody understands us. We are so wise. We are good. What we do is what the good do." Watcher Eileen turns away from you to try to calm down the hall. Let's negotiate. Gladly, several Watchers open their mouths. Eileen silences them with a wrathful glare. The AHRIEL are a superior people. All see it. It is hard for us to admit the rare times when we need aid, yet we Watchers have missed Haven. Why have you missed us? There are so many mundane details that must be dealt with. Brigands, forest monsters, blocked roads, lost mines, important to small folk but less important than watching the many levels of existence. When Haven was here to keep the roads clear for merchants and such, things were easier. We did some services. You helped us to do our duty. How do we help you do your duty? The AHRIEL are superior people. We have found a better way. We are not selfish. Our duty is to show ourselves to others, so that we can be a good example. The more other people try to imitate us, the closer they will be to a perfect existence. What services do you provide to us? Our quicksilver, our potions, our fine weapons and other goods? Your merchants love to come here and buy them. Our small folk love to sell them. We are valuable to you, Havenite. Even your mother told me so many years ago. So you will be our vassals and obey the old contract. A long, tense silence. Finally, Watcher Eileen says, "Yes, it will be as if nothing ever happened. Your army's helping the Watchers. Our potions sent to your people." Now the Watcher actually looks nervous. However, we do have one new requirement. What is your requirement? You must kneel to me, Prince. You must kneel and swear that the AHRIEL have the world's superior culture. Better than all, including Haven. Sorry, what was that again? Kneel and swear our superiority. You look at the other Watchers. They all nod. Together they came up with this mad idea. If your mother finds out that you knelt before a vassal, she will be utterly furious. Dealey and Sutter won't be pleased either. Havenites are proud. There are problems with that. We thought there would be, yet we AHRIEL can't pass up this opportunity. When word of this spreads, all will come to us. All will seek the blessing of our approval. The prestige, the glory, we must have it, for our duty. I simply can't do that. Then go, let your battalion dry up and wither away in the thicket. I have set our price. It will not change, not ever. Go and think, Prince, go and think. Okay. Well, we're certainly not going to kneel to them, but I don't know how far I can go with Astara, is the thing. They won't let me trade, I'm sure. Anything in here? No. Alright, well that's that in High Elhovo. Yeah, I don't see someone over here. Oh, you? Oh, the dreams. How do we get a room here? Huh. Okay, the Palace of Atonement is unlocked, right? Yeah, we can fast travel there, so let's head to Slyven, I guess, and hope we can go further with Astara. Astara pours you more tea. Occasionally her hands shake and her face switches. Other times she giggles oddly. Perhaps the effect of the elixir. I spoke to the High Council as you requested. They mocked your idea. You described the meeting. As expected, Astara is furious. She rants and rails for a while, but it is a gleeful anger. She looks ready to fight. Yes, they are so arrogant. They could not have done better. Now we can make them pay. How can the High Council pay for their arrogance? Go back to Mesidi. Talk to Lonius again. Soon. He is sure to have heard of the meeting. Grab him now while the anger is hot. The question you asked before. Ask again. What question was that? You can help us gain power if the AHRIEL become a vassal again. Ask if he will take the deal. You think he will change his mind? I don't know. I've lost track of what normal minds think. The elixir. The accursed elixir. Still, if this rejection doesn't get rid of the rest of his hope, there is no chance. Okay. Let's hit F3. We're at 41 minutes, okay. So I am going to head to Mesidi and save. Another report. We had some theft in the AHRIEL lands. Nothing we couldn't really handle. Oh. Except wood. Took a lot of our coins. We have only 123. We'll talk to Lonius next time. Where was Lonius? Up here? Yeah. Want to say thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the episode and are enjoying the LP. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Yeah, next time we'll talk to Lonius, continue this quest, try to get the Trench Town folks, the lesser folks, some say, in this AHRIEL government, and we'll continue exploring and maybe get to the Palace of Atonement as well. I don't know if we'll make it there, but we'll see. So yeah, thanks guys. Take care. Much love, peace, and joy. Stay tuned because much more to come. So long.